Right. Lucifer. Thank you guys for being here tonight with me. Many blessings to all of you as we come together in this sacred space. That's so interesting. It looks like it started before I thought it would, but that's okay. This is an important topic, you guys, and I just want to preface this because I just completed a kick-ass video about Lucifer, and it's already done, but I'm gonna upload it on Monday. So in that short video, I want to link to today's long video that we're doing tonight. And so, because you can't tell everything in a 1 minute, 2 minute video, right? So this is the explanation of that topic for those of you who are more interested from the Emerald Order point of view about Lucifer. So it's not even lined like I want it. Let me lower this a bit. Let me look in my... Just a technical aspect. Testing, yeah. Yeah, that's good. It's all aligned. What's that? Oh, it's my microphone. Okay. So, Lucifer is not what you think it is, at least not from the religious perspective or explanation. And so, I've covered this topic before in the past, but this is interesting because now I've actually, because Lucifer involves specific extraterrestrial races. And so since my last time I talked about this topic, I didn't have the portrayed images of these beings. Now I have all three of them because there's three races involved in the Lucifer persona. And so you can call them Luciferian bloodlines. Okay, so this topic is not just limited to religions on earth. And most religions give you a very small structure of reality. You don't get to learn much about creation or the mechanics of creation in most religions. For example, in the Bible, in Christianity, they talk about earth, heaven, and hell. That is not creation mechanics. And so one of the amazing things about these teachings called the Emerald Order freedom teachings, also known as the innerchristos law of one, because that's what it focuses on. Your identity, your connection. All beings have a vertical connection to source God, but religion says you're separate from God unless you take a blood ritual sacrifice covenant. And so most religions are based on blood ritual. That's black magic. That's the science of death. Okay? It's about sacrifice. That is definitely the science of death. Not living. Okay? So this is what the focus is of fallen angels, Lucifer, Satan, demons, beings who are anti-God, but also anti-earth, anti-human, attacking our planet, attacking our people, our race, our civilization, infiltrating. And we're going to talk about some of their techniques of how they infiltrate us. How Lucifer, also known as the Luciferian covenant, have put the earth and humans into spiritual bondage. Here in 2025, a lot of people are saying we're all awakening. We are not. Humans are still in spiritual bondage. And you don't have to agree with that. We can disagree and still be peaceful and still love each other. And so I just ask that you hear me out tonight so you can see this point of view and decide for yourself. Because this isn't dogma, unlike religions are strictly dogma. You must do this, you must do that in order to be saved. This is not dogma. This is you decide. Okay? Because God isn't a judgmental God, is not a jealous God, does not kill life, annihilate and destroy life, cause desolation, cast black magic death spells. No, that's a false God. And I have hundreds, I'll say that again, I have created hundreds of videos talking about religion and these malevolent extraterrestrials, because not all ETs are negative, but the ones involved in the human drama are. So I've exposed this many times, and it's just become, I'm just getting better and better at this from the point of view, not my personal beliefs. Okay? If you disagree with me, you're disagreeing with this huge body of teachings, and it's not just these books. These are just the start. This is a 25-year-old book, okay, that talks about Lucifer. It talks about Satan and these alien races, different species who are involved in this you would say, deception of what God is, deception of what angels are. Tonight's topic, Lucifer, fallen angel. Deception of what Lucifer is. And it's not just one source that distorts religion. Okay? The first thing I got to say, is, which I mentioned in my video, my short video, that's going to be uploaded Monday, early in the morning. What you see, or let me ask you this question. Where do we get the idea of what Lucifer looks like? Do you understand my question? How do you know what Lucifer looks like? Does it say in the Bible? Is there any pictures in Scripture? We know there's no pictures. And there's no descriptions of Lucifer. Some of you might have trigger from that. Yes, there is. So let me continue by saying there's only one verse in the entire Bible that mentions the word Lucifer. Fact check your own belief system. Check and look. Do a little bit of research. It doesn't take you long to look. And just ask, how many times is Lucifer mentioned in the Bible? Okay, so back to my original question. How do you know what Lucifer looks like? It forces you to think and forces you to check, because so many people have this idea that Lucifer was cast out of heaven, and there's so many details about this when Lucifer is only mentioned once. There is some discrepancy, there are some contradictions there, besides the hundreds, thousands of distortions in Scripture, in the Bible, and other supposed holy books. When you will learn by the end of this video, first of all, you can have a direct connection to God without religion. And so religions were created by fallen angels. There is a God. There was Jesus. But we're not coming from that distorted narrative from religions. It is religions themselves that were created by these fallen angelic extraterrestrials, alien races. And it is documented like throughout history, all of the things that the Luciferian covenant has done. Most of these beings are part, like a lot of these races that a lot of UFOlogy and New Agers are part of. Enki, Enlil, Marduk are part of the Luciferian covenant, literally. But you're praising them. You're praising Metatron, also part of the Luciferian covenant. The Luciferian covenant comes out of the Metatron family. Metatron is not a person. Once again, those are all the distortions you've been swallowing and accepting as truth. When you got so many contradictions in these books, in these holy books, unholy books, and religions, that where do you find truth? You're going to find some truth sprinkled in to those teachings, because this is how these beings work. This is how they can trick the angelic human race. Once upon a time, we were angelic. Not anymore down here on earth. They were able to trick us as a race, because they did sprinkle some truth. You will find some truth in the Bible. But the majority of it is distortion. Is actually, you'll even hear our teacher Ashiana say this herself. Those families in the Bible, Abrahamic lineage, are Nibirian, Anunnaki lineages. Anu, Melchizedek are the ones who have brought you the patriarchal creed, the swingers club. God is a male. God is swinging. Where's the female? Where's the mother, divine, feminine? Where's the sister? There is no female in there, because that's how the fallen angels roll. That's how they treat women in their own societies. If you're an Anunnaki female, an Anunnaki, you're just as bad off as the women here on earth, because that's how there is this, it won't be as bad, but because they're going to treat humans as lesser, as little pets, as little entertainment, as slaves. So there's a reason why they put down the divine feminine. There's a reason why they say the female came out of the male, when we know that it is the female where women and men are born from. But it's so interesting how that got twisted. And now you believe that the man is the king of the castle, and your Lord, your God, has a penis. If God is a male, why would you think God's a male without the female in the divine Trinity? There is no female. Why do you think God is a male? See, these are basic, simple concepts that are come out of the distortions of religion that you just can't. What is that? So thank you for joining tonight's topic. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight, and hopefully you're going to learn something about what really is Lucifer. This is a live broadcast. Let me say hello to my family coming on into the live chat community. And we have a brilliant group of people here. People who are awakening themselves, who are actually studying these teachings, who are actually going through an awakening, who are actually activating their DNA, retrieving memories, which isn't a belief, it isn't a faith, it is a cognizance. It is a knowing. Bless you and all of you who are awakening. Thank you for hanging with us tonight. And you guys can disagree with me in chat. Just make sure that you are respectful. Remember what I said earlier. We can disagree and still be friends. We can still be peaceful. So don't start all this Jesus stuff. We love our brother Jesus, Joshua. But it's not all about this Messiah, Savior of, repent or be damned to hell. If you start putting that in chat, this is where we have to let you go. So if you disagree, you can disagree, but be respectful to all the other people's beliefs. So thank you guys for being here. We usually don't get trolls, but if it's a controversial topic like Lucifer, you probably will get someone who's angry. Why are you angry, Holy One? Right? You got Paul in the house. What's up, Paul? Hello, beautiful souls. 11:52 a.m. here. Oh, Melbourne, Australia. Well, blessings to Australia and thank you for all your positive vibes, Paul. He says, I love you all unconditionally, peace. What did I say about the amazing group of people we have here? Right? Sunset Dreams, blessings to all. Giannis 1111. That's an amazing frequency. Thank you for being here, Star Sister. She's one of our moderators, you guys. She'll be watching our back tonight for any trolls or profanities, so unfortunately we have to deal with that sometimes on a live broadcast. Good to see you, Giannis. Sunset Dreams, Georgina, hello to all. Charlene Halley, sorry if I butcher some of your names, you guys. I'm not perfect in knowing how to pronounce all names, but Charlene, thank you for being here. Peace and joy, she says. G-Light, my Chihuahua family, good to see you, sister. Peace and joy, you said it, Giannis. Nikki B, 111 UK time notification. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, right? I don't know about you guys, but me and my twin flame have been seeing 111, 111, 1111, 11, 11. What's with all the ones, right? So I feel that. We claim that. Thank you for sharing. Etheric Mystic Brother, howdy to you, Holy One. Star Sister Familia. Sandra, hello family. Thank you for your positive energy, sister. Sunny says Machiwa. Pink Lemon, Lucifer is Jehovian, or from the Lolatan group. Someone's been studying, right? What's up? You said it, Holy One. And Lolatan is part of it. He's one of they're one of the three alien races. Tolthinki, Lolatan family. You said it, Pink Lemon. Thanks for bringing in that code. Anahazi, dude. What's up, family? Nikki B, want to say I watched your last live stream other night and wow, you are pure flow, antenna purely aligned with T. Thank you, sister Nikki B. Last time we were talking about the time matrix. That information is right there inside my mind. Putting together that diagram, and one of my moderators, please put my diagram in chat so people can also get that frequency code. Because I was doing the diagram, it forced me to go and really claim that knowledge. That's what we do. This is all. A lot of you are part of this Emerald Order. You were sent by the Emerald Order. You're doing service with the Guardian Alliance. So we're reclaiming that which is our teaching, which is all beings' teachings. This is a universal thing, a law of one thing. So. But yeah, that diagram just really helped me just really articulate and remember it very well, this topic. So that's why it was on fire. But thank you so much for that feedback, Nikki B. It's wonderful to get your guys' feedback like that. Bless you, sister. And she continued, info you are putting out there, and I saw your flow was amazing. Pure tapped into source. Message sent before I finished. LOL. Indigo Christos TV. Gangsta of Light. What's up? Glad you're on our team, Nikki. Lady Tracy Ann. Grand Rising Anuhazi. Bro stars and sisters. So happy to see you, Lady Tracy Ann. Yeah. Pink Lemon said something very important. What a lot of us have probably experienced with our own families. He said, Pink Lemon, she says, I told my family that, and they didn't like it, and went and reasoned. And that's what they do. They'll reason. They will reason, and they will rationalize sacrifice and death. Oh, the Egyptians deserved it. Or those people deserved it, to die, to be killed, to be destroyed, when they have no concept of omni-love, a loving God. No, their God's an angry God. So, I can relate. My family are not so, they're more respectful Christians. So, and there's not that many, there's a few in my family. Not all of them are Christians. Some of them are just don't have any spirituality. So I wouldn't call that like anti-God or anything. It's just someone, they just live a 3D life and they're happy doing that, you know, but that's not going to evolve your soul, right? So you're going to keep on reincarnating if that's what your life is. Yeah, there's a big difference, right, Nikki, between faith or cognizance, being testimony and witness, see, hear, feel. It's so interesting because I get some of these sarcastic people ask me, well, have you ever seen these beings? I can speak for hours on my experiences with these beings and these energies. It is cognizance. A knowing, not a faith, not a hope. Man, are you on shaky ground when you're just dealing with just hope? Just have faith. Just have faith. When you can know it's playing like this reality is playing. Movies, memories, past life, future life memories. A record. You're witness to the record. Not putting something between you and source. You have a direct connection to source, God. You're not separate, like these religions want to say. Most people, Pink Lemon also says, most people that are religious usually just say devil. Yeah? They'll say, oh, you're getting mixed with demons. You need to repent. You need to get right with God, right? When they talk about their God, which is the Jewish God, you know, the Christian God is actually Jewish. It's the God of the Jews. It's the Jewish God with a Jewish word, name, like Yahweh. Is that English? Is it American name? It's a Jewish name, and even the Jesus in the Bible calls upon Jehovah, Yahweh, Father God. So there's Egyptian gods, there's Greek gods, there's Roman gods, there's Viking gods, Chinese gods, there's a Jewish God, and Christians are following that one. Just saying. Nikki B, I am. You said it. 2 powerful words. I am. That's a knowing. That's not faith-based. Giannis, Jamie 528, Machiwa to you. Thank you for being here with us. Looks like I'm about ready to get back into it, you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Much respect. So, since we're talking about this, let's protect this space and frequency. I mean, it's additional. I already did that before I started. This is additional cleansing and protecting. Get that grill lit, fire it up. And you wonder why most churches burn frankincense. Do you think it's for nothing? It works. It actually works. You co-create. You do your shield work, your protection work, but also co-create with other cleansing, protective energies. And bless all of you, but I'm not talking about stick incense. That's one of those false light things. It's chemical. It's not co-creating with you. The trees give us fruit, but they also give us sap, essence of their energy. They're co-creating with the tree. The frequency, the consciousness, the memory, the race. Just dropped my amber in my ashes. So, say it and see it in your mind as you say it. Cleansing, cleanse and protect. Protecting the space, the sacred space. And say it in the words that you want to say. All the way around, 360. Stand over it. Put it on the ground and stand over it. Walk over it. Smother, yourself. Don't do this inside unless you turn off your fire detectors. It doesn't have a problem outside though. Lucifer, the morning star. Think of that literally. What is the star in the morning? It's Venus. It's a reference to a planet. And you know how I mentioned at the beginning that Lucifer is only mentioned once in the Bible, and it had nothing to do with the devil or Satan. It was a reference to some king, some dude. That is a reference to that being and the morning star, Venus, making a reference to this king and comparing him, or he compares himself, he's so high and mighty, the king of Babylon. Oh, he's acting like the star of Venus. Had nothing to do with some goblin demonic creature being. But these teachings actually say there's something to the word Lucifer. Thank you for this Heart's Holy One, whoever's doing that. Lucifer, as I will actually show you on the screen, it actually comes from a combination of 3 extraterrestrial races who became what's called, in the teachings, the Luciferian seed race. Because they combine this DNA, and then they use this seed race to make alien races like Inky Anunnaki, like the Palladian Luciferian Anunnaki. I'm not just saying all Palladians are bad, but the ones on Nibiru are. The ones that visited Billy Myers. The pretty blondes. So, this isn't Lucifer. We talk about angels. Okay? because he is considered an angel. Okay, so this is the first problem, you guys, because religion and most religions have no clue or idea what is an angel or an archangel, like Archangel Michael or Lucifer, the morning star, which is Venus. So, first of all, this Luciferian covenant is super ancient from what we consider ancient. These beings are super ancient. And we're talking billions of years old. That's how old, and yes, it does have a date. These teachings explain exactly when the fallen angels were created, that came about. These are beings who were once positive, guardian beings. Literally, they were guardian race. But they used their free will, and it's capitalized in these teachings. It's capitalized. Divine gift. Capital D, capital G. They use their own divine gift of free will. Divine gift of free will. To go against Source. God, to go against the guardian races who are serving Source 250 billion years ago. Not in our galaxy, not in our universe. This was another universe and in another dimension. Has nothing to do with the fall of Lucifer and a third or 2/3 or whatever, 1/3 of the angels went with Lucifer. Has nothing to do with that. Has nothing to do with Earth. Has nothing to do with... This was before humans were born, so it has nothing to do with Earth. I mean, before they were created. Excuse me. I have to say really quick that I injured my back. I was doing front lifts, simultaneous front lifts. And on my fourth set, I was almost done. But on my fourth set, I pulled my back. This was only 2 days ago, or Wednesday, so I'm dealing with that. But it's healing. What I'm going to do is, instead of doing both, I'm going to just do one at a time. Next time. And plus I did my back 48 hours before. It shouldn't be so close to my back day. It needs to be before my back day. So I'm going to switch that around because it sucks pulling your back. You're out of commission for a few days or a week or whatever. Like this is the third day and I still feel it. So anyways, it has nothing to do with the religion's story of Lucifer. Lucifer has nothing to do with Christianity or Judaism because it is 250 billion years old before humans existed or humans' religions existed. So it's a universal thing, a multiverse thing. Lucifer is a multiverse thing. It's a Metatron thing. It's an Inky in the Marduk thing. This is one family, and Archangel Michael is part of it. So is Archangel Metatron. These beings don't even exist. They're stories created for you to worship. And that is a fallen angelic practice. Worshipping. But you think it's so normal. You think it's so natural. You're supposed to worship God. You guys, that's the whole problem. There is a God, but not some angry being. You really think the creator of everything is angry? Not just angry. In the Bible itself, it says God is cruel. This God, the Jewish Yahweh God, is cruel and burning angry. That sounds like rage. Oh, and by the way, a little, from its perspective, a little human pissed off God, huh? You see the problems with this. Remember what I said. These fallen angels created religions. They created the gods. Now you're worshiping the Jewish God, the Viking God, you see all these different gods. It is alien beings, malevolent ones. Most of them are fallen into phantom. And I'll explain phantom in a little while. It is these beings who create gods so you worship them, and that is an energy exchange. Worshiping anything is an energy. You are sending your energy to that other entity, to that other consciousness. That's a form of feeding. They are feeding off of your worship. Why do people like kings and queens and emperors, they are harnessing the power that the masses are sending to them. You are sending this massive global Christian energy, Jewish energy, Greek energy, Roman energy, all these different beings, different sources, right? Different pantheons. You are feeding these beings. You are making them bigger and stronger, man. Now they have this frequency, it's being pooled. This frequency is feeding these legions of demons and fallen angels. You're feeding them. This is what worshiping is. It's a spiritual, energetic exchange. Guardian beings don't worship anything. They are in union and connection with Source God. You don't need to worship Source God who exists in omni-love. God doesn't need you to send energy or worshiping. God has its own frequency. God is perpetually, eternally evolving with or without you. It doesn't need your worship. Because that's what worship is. It's sending. You're sending your life force energy. And that's another thing. If you're in religion, you don't know much about Kundalini, life force. Oh, that's a taboo topic in religion. That's God's energy. You're not supposed to be expressing, that's satanic, that's black magic. What are you doing? What are you getting involved with? Kundalini? You know what I'm saying? You guys, let me blow my nose, sorry. Otherwise I'll be uncomfortable. Just give me 10 seconds. Mute the microphone. Testing, okay. You know God is eternal. The real God, not the biblical God or some religion God. The real source God, who doesn't have a gender, who doesn't have a body, who's pure consciousness, who is omnipresent. If a being is in a body, how can they be omnipresent? Because the biblical scripture says God's everywhere, omnipresent. God is everywhere. How could a being in a body be everywhere? Consciousness, energy is a field. The Guardians call it the universal field, unified field. It's called the unified field. It's omnipresence of God as consciousness. When you don't have a body, because God doesn't have a body. When you don't have a body, you don't have a gender. You're not a male god. You're not a goddess, female. They create gods so you can send them frequency, energy, kundalini, life force. They're feed off of it. Just like in sleep paralysis, it's another exchange of energy. That demonic being is sitting on your chest. You can't breathe. You can't move. You're paralyzed until you can work your way out of it. It's feeding you. It's feeding off of your life force, your kundalini. It is an energy exchange. It's the same thing with religion. When you are worshiping, you can see in a religious mind, well, how can I have a relationship with God? How can I have a connection to God unless I worship God and love God? You don't need to worship to love God. And you still have a connection because you're an expression of source, God. God doesn't have some source coming out of a culture like the Hebrews, like the Jewish people. God is not coming from some belief system on earth, you guys. It's not coming from the Vikings. It's not coming from Sumerian gods. It's not coming from any of these religions on earth. God is beyond any type of culture, beyond the earth system, beyond our universe. God is omnipresent. God is everywhere. And it's a field. It's an energy of consciousness. We are in the image of God as consciousness. That's the other funny, crazy, weird, ridiculous concept. People humanize God. They make God look like us. They make Lucifer look like us. Isn't that what we think? What was my first question of my life? How do you know what Lucifer looks like? Because they made God, you know it's not coming from the Bible, right? Where's our ideas? See, this is making you think. Where do your ideas of what Lucifer looks like are coming from? It's coming from medieval art. It's coming from Renaissance painters like Raphael and Michelangelo. Did I say Raphael, right? Famous painters created angels. They don't even know what angels are, either to religions. They made it look like a human. And they put wings on, like bird wings on these things. It's ridiculous. You see these little paintings? Oh, beautiful art. I'm not saying nothing about their skill. But when you see these paintings, you're like, how cute. That's not what an angel looks like. And if you're coming from an extraterrestrial realm, if you're coming not from Earth, or even religious people can agree, angels don't come from Earth. So why in the world would you think they look like you? Remember, once again, there's no description of what angel looks like. They talk about cherubim and seraphim. They give some ideas. But they don't explain what are aliens and extraterrestrials or any type of beings from other worlds. You guys, if you're a being from another world, you don't look like this race. You look like their race, where they're coming from, who has a different planet. If you don't like that word because you don't think they're aliens, okay, from a different realm, a different world. Why in the world would they look like us? They don't look like us. They're beings from other worlds, yes. Remember, your religions don't teach you the cosmos, the context of creation. You just know heaven, hell, and earth. That's nothing. These beings are coming from other dimensions. Do you know what a dimension is? Not of length, a measurement. We're talking about temporal locations and dimensions. Temporal dimensions. other worlds, levels of reality. Okay? They're coming from other worlds, other planets. They're coming from different DNA templates. Humans have a specific DNA template, specific strands of DNA. Okay? A being from another world, not only is their planet gonna have different climate, maybe different physics in these other universes, other dimensions, that's gonna create different kinds of animals. It's gonna create different types of races of beings. They ain't gonna look like a man, a human male. So bless Michelangelo and all those famous medieval and Renaissance painters, but they got it wrong. Okay? They don't watch Ancient Aliens, in the 1600s. Between 500 and 1600s is where they started making angels look like this. Looking like humans and just with bird wings. So, you guys, this is obsolete. This is not cutting it. These are beings from other worlds. Extraterrestrials. And it's not just your brother saying it. I'm a student of these teachings that I'm speaking to you. I learned this, first of all, at the beginning of my spiritual journey from these teachings. And now, after, it's been a few years now, I have had my own supernatural, paranormal, psychic experiences, and I have seen, not faith or hope, remember? Witness, cognizance, a knowing, a seeing, a hearing, a feeling. Testimony of these teachings, of these races, of the Lyran feline beings, of the reptilian beings, of the Zeta Great alien beings, while most of those religious people will say they don't exist. Or, since they scratch their head and wonder, some of this true? They're just demons. All aliens are classified as demonic, dark, evil beings, according to the religious mind. Not all aliens are negative, you guys. There are beings who serve Creator, Source, Omni-Love, Law of One, service to others. But there's ones who use their divine gift of free will, capitalized across the board, divine gift of free will, they abused it. They went against it. Including entire races of beings like the Anunnaki, like the reptilians. Now, there are quadrillions of alien life forms. So, am I saying all Anunnaki are bad? All reptilians are bad? All insectoid beings or bird beings or whatever kind of beings are bad? No. But certain races have fallen. But some of the individuals, some of the groups or families could have not fallen or could have been healed through a host matrix. The Guardian teachings talk about what's called a host matrix. Host. A being who hasn't fallen is their host to heal their DNA. To go from a fallen angelic consciousness and distorted DNA template to be healed into a 12-strand avatar. That's a healing host matrix that's agreed upon by the fallen angel who wants to get help with the guardian race. You see, that's another thing. In religion, they say once you go into hell, it's forever. You don't, there's no second chance. BS, remember the divine gift of free will. A being could transform and go back to their original divine blueprint their original connection to Source God. You never lose that connection, but you forget it. You get disconnected from your Kundalini life force. They no longer have, I won't say they're disconnected, but they are in the phantom. Beings who are still on the living matrix, they are just in distortion, in a falling distortion. It doesn't happen in one life. It could, but most of the time it's kind of like reincarnating into a lower form. You die and you're still falling. You're going to fall into a lower form again. That's de-evolution. That's fragmentation from your divine blueprint that was perfect. Your race, your species, divine blueprint is what you're meant. That's what you're intended to be. Not some being falling and distorting and hurt and causing chaos. As a matter of fact, these teachings talk about this as being the path of chaos. What is chaos? The opposite of order, the opposite of life. It's about death, disorder, anarchy. It's about elite systems, hierarchy systems, a pyramid system. People and beings on top are the ruling all the masses on the bottom. That's the dollar bill. Also, that's their thing. It's about the pyramid elitist system. The illumined ones, huh? They're leading you into the path of chaos, which the guardians say leads you to the destiny of sorrow, which is unconscious oblivion, which is forgetting who you are, forgetting your connection severed from source. You're never disconnected from source, but your memory is, your frequency energy is. The guardians follow the path of order, which leads you to the destiny of sorrow. Unconscious oblivion or joy? Wait, did I said it wrong. Let me correct myself. The path of order leads you to the destiny of joy, if I didn't say that right. So, would you choose unconscious oblivion, forgetting yourself, fragmenting yourself, de-evolving yourself? Or do you choose joy and having your memory, retaining your memory, and expanding into your divine blueprint, and someday leaving the time matrix? I choose joy, the path of order. Use your divine gift of free will and make your choice. Path of chaos or the path of order? Because these beings, including the Luciferian covenant, which we're going to talk about now, but let me just check on chat again. That's what they chose. They choose the path of chaos, which is about fear. It's about sacrifice, blood ritual. It's about judgment. It's about all the things you see in the fake ET gods, like in the Christian belief system. It's a fake ET God. There is a God, and there even was a Jesus, but it wasn't the ones being talked about in these Nibirian, Anunnaki, the religious, I'm pointing at the religious ones, the Nibirian family lines, the Anunnaki teachings, the Anu Melchizedek patriarchal creed, the Pianist Club. Okay? There is a real God. It's a consciousness. It's a unified field of frequency. Machiwa. What's up, homies? What's up, indigo gangsters? Gangsters in Christ, the Christos. Jazzy Jazz. Thank you, Star Sister, for your donation. Machiwa all brothers. Machiwa all and brother Enuhazi. Thank you, Jazzy Jazz. Bless you, sister. Thank you so much. You guys, only one donation. I really need your help. Please, you guys, if you like this information, these knowledge, this teaching, my videos, if you like what I'm doing, please support this work. Please make a donation. I put the link at the top. You just click on that link, send your brother $5, $20, $50, whatever you feel called to, because this is how I can do this full time. And I literally do work full time, even on my weekends. So thank you so much, you guys, for that. Bless you. I'm looking for questions. Remember, you guys, if you have a question, please tag my name, Christos Avatar TV, in your message, and it'll highlight so I can see it. Otherwise, it's hard to see your questions through all this chat. Etheric Mystic, she tagged me. Frankincense resins and Mayan copal resins is my combo. Yeah, you said it, sister. And amber is freaking luxurious. It costs like $75. I saw people asking where I get it from. I get it at divineincense.com. But you have to spend $100 minimum. It's a wholesale company. You don't need a business license, but they want you to get the minimum order of $100, which is no big deal for me. I get it. I get bags of this stuff. These are 1 pound bags. And that is the model number. Divine Incense. And like there's the model number for gold copal. It's right on the back. So invest in $100. I spend more than that because I get charcoal and one batch of amber is $75. So if you really want that, but I just buy the charcoal disc by the box. So, but I didn't see any other questions. If you guys did, make sure you tag me so I can see it. So I don't see questions, so I'll continue. I will show the diagram, and then I'll show the actual alien races who are part of this collective. So let me switch to the diagram real quick, you guys. And I'm sure they linked it to you already. All right. This is the context of creation, which you don't get in religion. They just tell you about Earth. They just tell you about Earth. See, you're just getting a small keyhole picture of reality. You just know Earth, hell, and heaven. You don't know anything about any of this creation. This is the context of creation. And without it, it's very difficult to understand concepts like God, like angels, like Lucifer. It's a multi-dimensional reality, hologram of matter. It is God's consciousness, part of God's hologram experiment. It's based on omnilove. It's based on the concept and principle of the inner Christos, the inner God. You're not separate from God. It's the exact opposite. Because that's another sign to you. When you're being told the exact opposite, it is the fallen angels who behave in the exact opposite. The exact opposite of love is hate. The exact opposite of life is death. Why in the world are you practicing communion, which is based on blood ritual, sacrifice, and death? It is a fallen angelic practice. Just like worshiping. It's a demonic practice of you exchanging your energy. Source God doesn't roll like that. Source God is one God, one self, one love, one thought, one heart, one mind, one form. This is the sacred universal law of one principle. That's what these teachings are based on, that all are part of Source. All are part of God. There is no exception. Even when a being falls, it's still part of God. But you get the opposite message, which is the fallen angelic message, which is the anti-God message that you're separate from God. It's a lie. It's a hoax. It is part of the path of chaos to say you're separate from God, to live that way, to think that way in your mind and your heart. These are the Emerald Order freedom teachings. I even put it in the diagram. There is the levels of the guardians called the Melchizedek Cloister Emerald Order, MCEO, Melchizedek Cloister Emerald Order. It starts with God, the central point of all union. This is what we call Source God, the Unici. It's eternal consciousness, not a dude. God doesn't have a body. It's eternal consciousness. God's the center of everything. God's omnipresent. That doesn't mean God isn't in a dark being. God's all. There's no exception to all. The one all. Remember, this is the law of one. God is also called the Great Spirit, the Source, and God. So this Melchizedek Cloister Emerald Order, these teachings talk about, it all starts from Source. And then the Ascended Masters, what they use the word Janus. Okay? So they're part of this creation, and that's what my diagram helps you to see. In this diagram, the 15-dimensional time matrix, the Janus are on the outer ring, the highest levels. The ultra-terrestrials, they're not dimensionalized like we are. They're eternal. They don't go through birth and death. They always exist and always will. Everything exists. You just go through different forms of matter. Even we do. You're not the body. You're the consciousness, spirit, soul essence inside the vehicle called your body. And the body may die or decompose, but your consciousness moves on. It lives forever. Everything lives forever. There is no such thing as death. It's only changing of form. What we call death is just a changing of form. Your body may die. All the people around you will see your body die and mourn you, but you're not dead. You still exist and always will. And so it's a cycle of reincarnation. It's a cycle of eternal manifest forms and non-manifest forms. So Source God populated this, and it started with the Janus, and then we got the different levels inside the time matrix called the Brenawa. The Elohai, Elohim, the Seraphi, Seraphim, and the Violet Flame, Brahmarama. And these are the races that started the time matrix, in our time matrix, because there's more than one. Ours is the Melchizedek time matrix. And so it started with at the top. Notice it's blue flame, gold flame, violet flame. Elohai, Elohim, Seraphi, Seraphim, Brahmarama, violet flame. These are what we call the guardians. Okay, so all life, even fallen angelic life, demons, they all started from one of these three levels. Lucifer comes from here, the blue flame. Let me show you. So we follow the blue flame, the 13th dimension, and the 13th dimension is the Elohai. Elohai created life in the 12th dimension and the 11th dimension. They created the Anuhazi, feline cat people. Like the movie Avatar, that gives you an idea. I make videos about these beings even recently, so check those out. Who are the Anuhazi? They're cat people, homie. Source God, the primary founders, Holy Elohai, Emerald Order, created the first race called Anuhazi. They're cat beings. They created another race that's part cat, but also aquatic ape, which is a violet flame bloodline. And I'll show you. It's called the Yoni. Yoni, aquatic ape, plus the Anuhazi equals an Anu. So it's part violet flame and part blue flame. So it's actually a hybrid guardian race, a founder's race. This is a founder's race. We come from this bloodline. The humans do. Well, this is a different bloodline. And from this bloodline, the feline aquatic apes, I made pictures of them. I guess while I'm explaining this, I could do that. Show some of the... Let me show you the feline Anuhazi. Anuhazi. Oh, I call them Lyran starseeds too, so... Sorry guys, I'm like going through my art. I'm just trying to pull up at least one picture. Oh, they're still opening in Photos. Let me open it in Photoshop. Properties, change it from Photos to Adobe. Sorry guys. I'm just picking anyone. Feline Anuhazi. Cat people. Get used to it. We come from cats, homie. Some of you don't like cats, but I'm sorry, but that's where we're coming from. A positive guardian race. Blessed beings following the law of one and omni-love. These are on my most recent videos, so those are coming up first. And these are beings that have been worshipped by different cultures on earth. The biggest one is the Egyptians. And what did the Egyptians create? This huge statue called the Sphinx. A cat being, homies. This is, you would say, a face of the Anuhazi. Also called different names, such as the Leonines, the Irma, different time periods. So I'm an artist and I make AI, computer generated art, and it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of creativity. It takes a lot of my time. I do this so it can support my teachings as I'm trying to teach you these advanced concepts. Okay, so these are the Anuhazi, and one second. Oops, just wanted to show. I took out Photoshop. I wasn't supposed to do that. Oh no, I was supposed to switch to the diagram, but now it's buried. Oh shit, I gotta close these. Now the Anu, they're not just cats, they're feline aquatic apes. So let me show you that. And we're also going to show you the Lucifer races, so hang with me. These are called Anu before they fell and became Anu Elohim. They're peaceful, beautiful looking race too. They're part aquatic race. They come from planet Avion. The Anuhazi come from planet Armentana, which is connected to Gaia, Tara, and Earth. These beings are coming from Avion. I really should make a favorites list so I can just bring them up with no problem. So they live on a water type of culture. Peaceful. But this is the thing, you guys. This is where Lucifer comes from, through this bloodline. So, because these beings fall. Now, let me go back to the diagram. So, this is the blue flame. And when this race fell, they became Anu. They became the Anu Elohim. And this is the same word used in UFOlogy and New Age. And all the people that comes out of Zachariah Ascension's group, they talk about the Anu as the father god. You know, they put that patriarchal slant there, sexist teaching. That it's all male gods, right? So the Anu has two children called Enki and Enlil. This is a lie. It's a hoax. It's an Illuminati fiction because they wanted you to be believing in their religion. And so now people are swallowing it and talking about it and protecting it and making this narrative, this fallen angelic narrative, stronger. Okay? That's all you're doing. This is all you're aligning yourself with in your energies. So the Anu were once peaceful. I showed you what they look like. They look like this. But when they fell, they became Anu Elohim. You see the difference? When you fall in your consciousness, your DNA gets mutated and distorted. And that's why I tell you guys, humans don't look like this, like we do now. Well, this is what these beings look like now. This is beings coming out of phantom. Okay? That not only is their appearance now twisted, but you better believe their freaking consciousness is twisted and dark. So, this once upon a time race is seeded by Metatronic Collective. Metatron is not a person. It's a family name. Okay? That comes out of the Giovanni Ascended Master Group. You got the Giovanni, Jehovah. The Metatron are the Jehovians. Metatron fell, and it's a long story, but it's in the Voyagers books. They fell and became these twisted dark beings. Metatron fell. Metatron is the Anu, which is now the Anu Elohim. Metatron fell. It is this race that their soul essence was in. Their soul essence was in these Anu who fell. So the Metatron, Giovanni's, fell in the time matrix. And now they became reversed consciousness in the phantom matrix. Let me close some of these so I can get that up. So these beings became the Anu Elohim, and they fell into what's called the phantom matrix. Hell, Hades. Yeah, so Lucifer did go to hell. Or, you know, I'm piecemealing that idea. It did fall. It did go into the phantom matrix, which is not called hell, but that's what religion calls it. The Guardians call it a scientific spiritual system, a black hole sub-time distortion cycle. Remember I told you earlier, 250 billion years old. That's where these beings are coming from. A lot of them, not all of them, because some are still falling while they're in the phantom. In the particle matrix. We also got the antiparticle parallel matrix. Okay, that's a natural part. This is an anomaly. This is not a natural part. This happened because of warring, because of, you would say, they call it DNA code convolution. You know how they say incest is best? That's what these Illuminati family lines do. They do incest. So they keep it within the family. Well, that's what these beings started doing. And guess what happens? It distorts your body. Your genetics gets effed up. And when you distort the body, it eventually will distort the consciousness with it. Because you're no longer operating from what's called your divine blueprint. These beings fell out of their divine blueprint. And so they got this DNA incest thing going on, and now they're twisted their bodies, and then they twisted their consciousness and started becoming dark and twisted and killing. They went on a killing spree. They attacked the Guardians. They took over planets. They created slave races. They created other races to serve them. The Anu Elohim. One of those races that they created, the Anu Elohim, they created the Anunnaki. This famous word, now it's famous. The Sumerians, it didn't start with the Sumerians 5,000, 6,000 years ago. That's a joke. These were created hundreds of millions of years ago. The fallen angels, 250 billion years ago. So this is relatively new race. But no less a fallen angelic race. And this is you guys, this is the original bloodline of the Anunnaki from the 11th dimension. There's a bunch of punk ass hybrids in the lower densities. Here's your punk ass hybrids being worshipped as gods or benefactors to humanity. They even go as far as saying they created humanity. The Inky Anunnaki, we're going to see them in a little bit. Humanoid, insectoid, reptilian serpents. That means they're humanoid looking. They got arms and legs, but they're part insect. When you call an alien that looks like an insect, like a gray alien, you know, those big old bug eyes, they call them insectoids. It's not a word I made up. This is an actual scientific word. Insectoid, and races that look like reptiles, they call them reptilians. And so this being is humanoid looking, but has insectoid features, reptilian features, and serpent, snake features. That's an Inky for ya. Not a brother, not a person, a family whose DNA originates from the Yahweh, Jehovah, Jehovian Anunnaki. And they're called Jehovian. These people are called them the Jehovians because they come from Jehovani, ascended masters, the Metatron Jehovani family. So why not call your children, like some of you call your child, you know, your name, or someone like your grandma's name? Well, these guys called their children after their gods, after their creator races. And I have a little inset here. It started with Metatron, the fallen ascended master group who seeded the Anu Elohim. Okay? So their soul essence is what incarnates into an Anu Elohim. And so while they were in these Anu Elohim bodies, they fell and attacked the Guardians, no less. And so the Anu Elohim, Jehovani, Jehovah God, Yahweh God, the Jewish God, the Lucifer family. Are you getting the picture yet? So it started with the Anu, they fell, became Anu Elohim. The Anu Elohim created a race a few 100 million years ago called the Jehovani. And then after this, they used this DNA and plus some other DNA. Eventually, you got something called the Luciferian seed race. I got it also on this diagram. You see how valuable this diagram is? I'm selling it, you guys. This is one way you can support this work, but you also can have this kick-ass diagram. The Luciferian seed race is coming from Metatron, all you lovers of Metatron, all you lovers of or not Lucifer, but Metatron and Jehovah. And also Thoth, a bunch of lovers of Thoth. Billy Carson loves Thoth and teaches about Thoth. The Guardians tell you otherwise. This is a fallen angelic connection, homies. And they don't call it Lucifer, they call it the Lucifer seed race. And it comes from Thoth, Inky, Lilitan, Anunnaki. So let me show you what they look like. Remember what they're called? They're called humanoid because they've got arms and legs like a human, and they're part insect, part reptilian, and there's the important part snake. You will get snake temples, snake religions, snake Illuminati groups, snake bloodlines. Well, it's coming from your precious inky. And let me show you what it looks like. And this is not according to my ideas and beliefs. It's according to the description given in the Voyagers 2 book, which I'll have one of our moderators show you. Now, some of these are in different sizes. Remember, part humanoid looking, but snake looking, reptilian, and insectoid looking. And they're called, it describes it exactly having black hair, tanned skin, and these hook noses. Okay? So these are the snake people. These are your precious Inky. Inky's not no brother, homie. There's some females. This is a Luciferian family line. These beings are giving you the death science. They're bringing you the patriarchy. They're bringing you spiritual bondage, man. This is Inky Anunnaki. It's a race that exists on planet Nibiru and some other planets. I got it listed on my, it's in the teachings in the Voyagers 2, but it's also in some of my videos I've recently made about the Inky. I tell you what planets they're from. So, okay, so that's Inky, one of these Luciferian races, one of the seed races. What's one of the other ones? The Marduk. Okay, so Marduk Satan family line. Notice this is Lolatan, Lucifer, Satan, Satan. These are not earth-based religion sources. These are extraterrestrial, multi-dimensional sources. And Marduk is simply called an insectoid hominid. Did you notice it doesn't say humanoid? It's an insectoid hominid. Doesn't look anything like us. And this is a Babylonian god. Inky's worshipped by the Sumerians and Akkadians and some of the Babylonians, Assyrians, Sumer, Babylon, Akkadia, you know. But this one's specifically a Babylonian god who's throughout history taking over these gods' positions or became the chief god. But still, they're freaking Luciferian extraterrestrial gods, not real God. There's only one God, homies. There's only one source of everything. Whenever you see any teaching, any new age, any religion mentioning more than one God, you know it is coming from the phantom matrix. It's coming from fallen angels, man. They're the ones giving you worshiping systems. They're feeding off of you, just like a succubus feeds off you. They want your worship. They want you worshiping Inky and his brother. It's not a brother, scaled reptilian. This is Marduk, insect hominid. Nothing like humans. Neither is Inky, as you saw. Marduk. I made some smaller sizes on this. There's your freaking Marduk, Babylonian god. Do you think the Babylonians knew they were worshiping aliens? Do they even know what an alien is? Right? This thing looks like a freaking fallen angel. And this is going to be shown in my Lucifer video. You'll see these animated and walking around. And you guys, this video is freaking badass. It is probably my best video I've ever made, and it's coming out on Monday. This is your Marduk, homie. Your beautiful God that it's being worshipped. Okay, so let me close that out. All right, so that's 2 of the Luciferian races. Now, what's the last one? It's called Necromaton Beta people. So that's a recent video I made too. I made videos on all 3 of these races recently. Check them out. And the Necromatons are in the 11th dimension. These are much higher. This is why a lot of the Anunnaki races fear this race. This race is just as high as Anu Elohim. The Necromatons are freaking powerful fallen angels. They're just called beetle people. But what is it called? On this, I might have put more detail. Yeah, it's a gold flame race. These are the gold flame fallen angels. So the Necromatons are beetle. So they're part insectoid, part reptilian, but the insectoid looks like a beetle version. It looks like beetles. And I even heard Ashana talk about this. They're what they look like. Not only does it say in Voyagers what they look like, but you hear Ashana talk about them. She said that they look like fat beetle gold-looking beings. They're gold. She said they don't all look gold, but the ones that she saw were gold color. And so I took what she said and what the Voyagers book said, and Necromaton. Let me pull it up. We still got chat, right? Chat's okay. Any more donations, you guys? Please support this work. I survive off of this your work, you guys, off of your help, you guys. Beetle people, fat gold beetle, as Ashana says. Insectoid, also scary looking, fallen angelic. I mean, they don't look like friendly, you know, just like you saw how beautiful the Anu originally looked, but then you see their distorted versions, you know. I wonder, the gold scarab is worshipped in the different Egyptian mystical systems, like Isis, his systems, Thoth, Osiris. So, yeah, these guys are freaking beetle creatures. And so, this is one of the things being talked about in the Anunnaki narrative. But they make them all look like God, like humans, man. Just like they're making Lucifer look like a human. They're making the Sumerian gods look like humans. They're making the Egyptian gods look like humans. Man, these beings are from other worlds, other dimensions, other universes. They have totally different DNA templates. They do not look like us. Your brothers Enki and Enlil don't look Akkadian. They don't look Sumerian, man. They come from Nibiru. So, this is your freaking precious Necromatons, and I showed you the other ones. Okay? This is what Lucifer is. An extraterrestrial seed race, and that was used to make other fallen angelic races. How cute. And let me show you in the actual PDF. Hello. Let me pull up Voyagers 2 on the screen, which is this book right here by Asha Nadine. You guys don't have to buy these books. These are out of print. You know what that means? It's a popular book, so people scalp it now. Now this book Let me show you what it's supposed to be priced. That's the original price. It's like a 600, almost 600 pages. It's now being sold for hundreds of dollars because it's being scalped. It's out of print. But the cheapest way you can get this book is on Ashiana's website. I'll have Indigo Wizard put that on. If he's not here, let someone else put that on. She sells it not like this though. She sells it in a 3-ring binder. And you know, there was a split in the shield, and I think maybe she changed some of it. I'm just letting you know that you can get it for around $60 as a 3-ring binder. So, otherwise, you can get it for free in a digital form. And most of you are on your devices anyways. How many of you are still reading books? So, you know, might as well get the free download that we're providing that's already out there on the internet. So, that's what this is that I'm about to show you. Just so you see where the source of this information is coming from. I'll just put it right in search. So being transparent. Lucifer mentioned 22 times. The Lucifer rebellion, 22,000 BC, some event that happened on Earth. That's not what I'm trying to find though. The Lucifer rebellion again. Lucifer rebellion. The Atlantean conspiracy, because that's where it's happening on Earth. Luciferians are much older than that, right? Than this. But when it came to Earth and started playing out as the Luciferian covenant, well, it was 25,000 BC. You know, you see, remember I told you they're from Nibiru, Marduk Anunnaki, which is a hybrid between the Jehovah, Metatron, Yahweh, original Anunnaki, plus the reptilian Omicron. Well, you mix Anunnaki, blue flame, and Omicron, gold flame, then you get a Marduk Anunnaki. And I showed you what they look like. Insect hominids. The name Lucifer comes from a Pleiadian Nuberian Anunnaki that emerged through combining Nuberian Lulatan, the family of Thoth-Inki. Lulatan, Lucifer. Lulatan family. Their official name, the race name, because this is a family that comes out of the race called Thoth-Inki. So I showed you that. I showed you what Inki looks like. So they take the 3 races once again in this Voyagers 2 book. It's coming from Inki. It's coming from Marduk. Remember the ones that really look like an insect. I'm sorry, this is, remember, that's the insectoid reptilian snake people. Inki. Marduk is the insect looking one, almost completely insect. And then also, and the third one is the D11, dimension 11. You saw it on my diagram on dimension 11. The chromaton beetle people. Lucifer comes from the hybrid of Inki, Marduk, and the chromaton. Okay, these beetle people are from Andromeda. This is where most Andromeda contacts, and I've heard Ashiana say 9 times out of 10, people calling themselves channeling the Andromedes. You're channeling this freaking Luciferian Necromaton beetle people creature, but they have no clue. And they will argue, those New Agers will defend themselves and say, no, I'm talking to beloved light Archangel Michael. I'm talking to the Andromedans. I'm talking to, whatever they're imagining. You remember what I told you? Semyasi visited Billy Myers. Semyasi, the pretty blondes, are Luciferians, homies. It's not your brother Enuhazi saying it. It's the Emerald Order Guardian saying it. That's Lucifer for ya. The Lucifer rebellion. Remember that year, 25,500. That's easy to remember. 25,500 thousand BC was the Luciferian rebellion. Anunnaki Luciferians, you know, the Enki, Enlil, and Marduk, which is being praised as the good guys, the opposite of what you want to do. At this time, way long time ago, which you guys know Sumer is told in mainstream as being the oldest culture. Not even close. Okay, they took over back then partial control of the Earth's Templar. Okay, that's the chakras of planet Earth, like Florida, like Egypt, like Machu Picchu. Those are Templar sites, and they took partial control back then. And they used a technology. Listen up, New Agers. They used a technology called the Niberian Dyadic Crystal Grid, NDC. Niberian Dyadic Crystal Grid is 12 huge crystals that once upon a time was inside our Earth. It was moved to inner Earth, by the way. It's also 12 giant crystals in the parallel Earth. So this is what, it's 24 city-sized crystals. They weaponized it, of course. They took it over first because it was in the control of the Guardians. And when they took control, they freaking weaponized it. And it's still operating to today. Lucifer Rebellion. Oh, let's go back to that. Nibirian Marduk. We talked about Marduk. I showed you Marduk. They took over the D4 gate in the sun, solar gate, Stargate 4, beginning the Anunnaki race unity dominion campaign. That's called One World Order. They tried it back then, and they're trying it now, homies, with their precious dyadic NDC, remember? Niberian Dyadic Crystal Grid, those 24 giant crystals weaponized. It's connected to Stonehenge, England. You see pictures of Stonehenge and all these people taking pictures with this freaking fallen angelic technology. No thank you. No thank you to Stonehenge for me. Lucifer is part of a summary. All the wonderful things that these Anunnaki did that you love. You love Enki and Marduk and Enlil. Well, they caused the murder of all the Lemurians. They caused the destruction of Atlantis. They took over, remember, the Templar of Earth almost. Oh, they murdered the indigo children called Ayani, the Yanis children, homies. They murdered them back in those days. They caused the Lohas, that's the Atlantis city, the Celtics, bringing you Halloween and candy trick or treat. That's where Halloween's coming from, baby. They caused the Druidics, the Celtics, the Druid freeze out. You'll have to look at the Voyager's book to learn more about that. The Vicar Assassin, can you say Viking? Hello, anyone? 20,000 BC, and they're being praised. They make movies about the Vikings. They're so cool. The Vikings are cool, huh? You see what you guys are praising as your heroes. They did another conquest in 10,000 BC. The Luciferian covenant was officially created in 9056 BC, and they created the Atlantis flood. The Bible mentioned it. There was more than one flood, though. There was 3 floods. But even the Bible mentions this flood, and they don't talk about Atlantis. Neither do our scientists or the mainstream talk about Atlantis. Oh, it doesn't exist. According to the Guardians, it exists, homies. Oh, now you start talking about Sumer in 8,900 BC. They invaded Sumer. They took over Sumer. They hybridized Sumer. The Sumerians were Anunnaki. Anunnaki hybrids, anyone? We got Anunnaki hybrids nowadays. Well, they did it a long time ago too. They took over Egypt. They took over with the Knights Templar invasion. The Centaurian War is part of this alien history. The Mayan raids, part of the Anunnaki history. The Babylon massacre mentioned in the Bible, Babylon, Tower of Babel, it happened by the Anunnaki. Anunnaki involved in the dozer. The Luciferians are involved with our freaking history, man. The Dead Sea Conquest, the Hyksos invasion, the Israel Crusade, the Hatshepsut, I can't say it, the Egyptian gods, the fall of Akhenaten, the fall of Solomon. Remember, those are Anunnaki bloodlines, Nibirian bloodlines, Roman invasion, the Essene. I get all these freaking people writing, telling me how good these beings are. The Council of Nicaea, when the people saying, oh, it's about Easter and about Jesus. Hello, baby. What's up? The Arthurian Grail Quest. the I can't even say that. Crusade. The Ameka Crusade. The Nibirian. Now we're getting to modern days, right? The Zeta Surveillance. The Philadelphia Experiment. The treaties with the Zetas and the MJ-12. The Orion intrusion. You guys, you getting a clue here? No, some people just have no clue. We don't need people to believe. They can decide for themselves. They can worship these beings. They can give their love and their spells, their magic spells, and they're worshiping the moon. They're worshiping these in astrology. The planets are these alien gods. The gods are in your astrology. The gods, ET gods, are in your tarot cards. The ET gods, not gods, there's only one God. The ET gods are in your UFOlogy. They're in your Zechariah ascension stories. They're in the Metatron narrative. They're in the Archangel Michael narrative. They're in the Galactic Federation narrative. It is these fallen angelic, scary looking alien insectoids, reptilians, dinoids. And the guardians are saying, no, transmute, holy ones. Realize who the Luciferian covenant is. Know who Lucifer really is. It's not some handsome, muscular dude, okay, being romanticized on TV. There's a series called Lucifer. You think it's some handsome guy because he's the beautiful angel kicked out of heaven. Machiwa. When you hear truth, real truth, it shakes up your distorted paradigm, doesn't it? When you indigo children and you angelic humans awakening, you star seeds awakening, when you hear truth, you resonate, man. You feel it in your body, man. You feel it in your heart, in your soul. You feel it with every atom of your body. You know this is truth. Or you don't. Machiwa. Jazzy Jazz gave a second donation. Bless you, sister, so much for your work, your help. Well, last night in the astral, a negative ET told me they can snatch me up in the physical realm. I'm like, nah, I have a contact, so I'm wondering, can they take us Indigo 3s physically if they want? Well, the thing about Indigo 3s is that you're half Anunnaki. It has two soul essences. The Lyran indigo soul essence, that's where the indigos come from, the Lyran line, and the Nephilim Anunnaki line in the same body. So let's say the Nephilim is winning over the Oraphim, Lyran, indigo child. Because that can't happen. Maybe the negative side is winning, so it can be abducted. It's coming. They have connection to your blood. They have connection to the consciousness. This is why it's a sacred mission of what indigo type 3s are doing. 2 souls in one body. It is part of a healing process. It's an agreement. So I would say it's possible. This is why, but I don't think it is possible if you're following the guardian teachings, you're doing your Maharic seal, you understand what is inside you, you understand the attitudes of A&Rs, attitudes and responsibility of mastery, you're thinking it, you're speaking it. No, it's not possible. So it depends. It depends on your frequencies and your thinking and how you're living your life. So I've even heard Ashana say it, you guys. Even an indigo child can fall. So that should help answer that question. Even an indigo child could get entangled, and even an indigo could fall that far down into the phantom. This is the risk of being an indigo and coming into a dangerous world, and you get tricked, you get duped, you don't wake up, you're asleep, and you start working and getting into the occult. You start worshiping these beings like all these New Agers are worshiping them. They ain't no chosen ones, man. You're chosen by Luciferian groups. That's who you're chosen by. And these bad guys pretend to be good guys. Remember, I told you earlier, they sprinkle a little bit of truth so your angelic self can feel that partial truth and then swallow the rest of their distortion and be tricked. And now you're doing astrological birth charts. Now you're doing tarot cards. Now you're worshiping Thoth or Enki or Enlil or the Marduk, all those narratives. Now you're involved in Wicca. Now you're involved in the distorted Reiki healing, reptilian healing. Now you're involved in passing on codes in your consciousness, in your light body. Now you're seeing their sigils in the astrological sigils. What are they? What are the symbols and sigils on those tarot cards? What are the sigils on these magic New Age systems? They're making you do sigils. They're making you do these rituals. People thinking they're following good guys when they follow the Galactic Federation of Light. I get messages still. Still asking me, oh, is the Galactic Federation of Light good? Okay, let me show you. Because since this group is Luciferian, and this group is sprinkling some good truth amongst the rest of the lies. You guys, it's real simple. Anything taking you out of your inner Christos, whether that's some spaceship, mothership, whether it's some archangel, whether it's some saint, whether it's some idol on your altar, you're not looking into your inner Christos, direct connection to God source. You're out here now, looking for help from the Galactic Federation. Let me show you who the Galactic Federation is. Back to Voyagers 2. I won't read this out loud. Baby. Okay, insight thing there. Wait. I'm supposed to switch it to PDF. Sorry, guys. Okay. Here we are. Let me push refresh on my computer so I can see the current thing. Okay, it's showing the current screen now. Okay, so I put in Lucifer. Oh, I meant to put Galactic Federation, right? Galactic Fed. Galactic Fed. Homie. 72 results. Now, some of these are from the ancient past. So I'm going to go past those. Because we're not talking about the past. We're talking about what they are now. Oh, I showed you some of that. I should have put Michael because they're right where the same location of Michael is. Archangel Michael. See, these beings did a lot. The Galactic Federation isn't just from today. They've went through all these periods of time. Man, they've been here. The Galactic Fed, man. I don't care if you guys rename it Galactic Federation of Light. It's the same freaking group. Oh, look, how nice. They're involved in America was founded. America! What are you really, America? Okay. Maybe I'll get to where I wanted to go. I probably landed here for a reason. Galactic Federation and Ashtar Command is beginning to mobilize their human ground crews, teaching their followers to expect a landing. Hello, Project Bluebeam, in which complete human compliance is promoted. The political arena of the Galactic Federation is now being set to the United Intruder Resistance Mass Mind Control Initiative. That's what they're doing to you, homies. Are completely unaware of what is taking place. Emerald Covenant races are intending to awaken the Indigos as quickly as possible. But these are, remember, here's that Niberian crystal grid. They're trying to disengage you from it. All those people channeling. You ain't channeling Jack. You're channeling these fucking, excuse me, I'm sorry guys. I can't believe I let that go. These freaking fallen angelic beings. I'm getting riled up, sorry. Galactic Fed, what the shit? Give me where I'm trying to get this Galactic Fed. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna put Michael, and then it goes right there where I need to go. Michael. See, it goes right to where I wanted to go. The Jehovians, which we talked about tonight. Jehovian, Anunnaki, Metatron, Anu, Jehovah, Yahweh. These ETs run the Galactic Federation. The Luciferians run the Galactic Federation. But you don't have to believe me because you love Archangel Michael. And you love the Galactic Fed and the Council of Nine. This is who's running this. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe the Emerald Order. You can come up with your own conclusion and get in bed with these beings. Excuse me, guys. 1 second. I gotta mute my microphone. All right. So I think that was very important to show. And you guys, we give you these PDFs, and you can read this 600-page book and learn something about your forbidden history. Learn about what's really happening on Earth with the Lucifer and Luciferian covenant and these extraterrestrial races that have put humans into religions and worshiping them. It's a wonder. It should make you think that there is over 4,000 different religions on planet Earth. That's a lot of different opinions of what is God. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why there's so many different religions, different worshiping systems, different ETs, different families of ETs. So now that a lot of people started waking up to religion, well, they're still going to attack all of you indigos and starseeds by now introducing it into the New Age narratives. Religion was taken over. New Age is taken over. It's not about your actual spiritual awakening. Now there's all these distortions and lies in these teachings. You got someone like Drunvalo Melchizedek, calling himself Melchizedek. Drunvalo teaches you reverse Merkaba. Sweet man. The way he talks, his demeanor, soft-spoken, dresses like a hippie. And he's selling you the flower of death and a reverse Merkaba system. This is what they do, you guys. I'm trying to tell you this. Ashana's trying to tell you this. The Guardians are trying to tell you this. They pretend to be good. How do you know the difference then? Look if they're taking you out of your inner Christos, pointing you somewhere else besides your direct connection to God. We don't need no galactic Fed. We don't need no Archangel Michael. We don't need Archangel Metatron. We don't need any priest or bishop or anything. Nothing. You only need to go inside your inner Christos and see, experience, and remember this connection to God. Because all of these beings and all of these saints and all of these ET gods, they're taking you away from your inner Christos. They're demonizing you. They say you're sinful. They say you're horrible. You need to get on your knees and worship us. Get off your knees, holy ones. Stop worshiping. Awaken your Templar, your psychic abilities, and then you will get rid of faith and hope and start having cognizance. Start having memory. Notice how they demonize psychic abilities? They say it's bad and evil. Why is the God of the Jewish God of the Christian Jewish Bible, why is the God jealous? You can't go look at other teachings. You only can stay in this dogma. You have to stay in this blood covenant. Luciferian covenant. It's very ironic and interesting that the Bible talks about Lucifer, but it is Luciferian who has actually created this belief system and replaced God with their God, replaced the Guardian family line with the Abrahamic Nuberian family line, have replaced the innerchristos law of one with the penis club. Patriarchy, women are down here. Not to mention this Luciferian Yahweh Father God. Yes, you heard me say it. This Luciferian Father Christian Jewish God is all about fear. It's about subservience, worship, blindly worshiping. It's about devaluing women. Do you need proof of that? It's about, did I mention fear? Because that's one of the number one thing they use. Let me show you this. Okay. One second, I want to show you a diagram. And we're getting close to the end, you guys. So you guys, please support this work. I really can't do this without you. I'm actually suffering, so it'd be great if that support actually. Let me see. Open with Photoshop. I don't know why it didn't open with Photoshop. This is religion. Sorry, wrong button. This is religion. This is the dark, twisted, false creeds of modern day belief systems. I mentioned it. It's about judgment as well. It's about elitists. You know, the Pope, these hierarchy in the church, the patriarchy, sexist slant in these religions. It tell you that you're horrible. You get this horrible identity coming from religion. And not to mention, they say you're separate from God and that you need to be subservient. And you need to sacrifice a Messiah or animals, little animals. You got to sacrifice. It's about death. No, God's not about death. False ET gods, father gods, Metatron gods, Lucifer gods, those are about death and sacrifice. And surrogate gods. Okay, it's about... they also exploit the plants and animals. They just like now most humans look down, oh, those are lower than humans. You know, look at them as not part of the creator. This is not the original beliefs, spiritual beliefs, you guys. This is what's replaced the original. This is the original. Oh, it's still opening in my... Gosh. That's because it's a JPEG. I got to open JPEGs with Photoshop too. This replaced this. Wait. This is what we originally were on. We're based on love. We're all equal. We're all part of God. We all look towards our inner Christos. We're not worshiping anything at all. It's all connected, and we see it all through love, man, and gratitude, respect. And these are some of the 12 attitudes of mastery. Accountability, impeccability, trust, mindfulness, fearlessness, detachment. This is our original teaching. And this is what the Emerald Order is bringing back. Right here. And all of the video workshops. A lifetime of teachings, you guys. I have only touched the surface myself. There's so much to go through. But I would say that if you can understand what you learned tonight, all the false beings out there, and focus on your inner Christos, focus on the ANRs, attitudes of mastery and responsibilities of mastery, A and R's, and understand and live with unity consciousness and Christ consciousness. Learn from these teachings how to run frequency through your chakra. That includes all chakras. These teachings start teaching you how to reach your 12th chakra. And all these Luciferian New Age systems teach you that you only have 7. And do you know what 7 means, man? It's the Luciferian number, the Metatron number, because that is the phantom bodies they created. They're only 7th dimensional. 7. No wonder it's a Vegas lucky number. 777. Do you see people praising that? And they see 111. They see 333s, 999s. They ain't going to no 777. But that's what Iasha now prices her products on. Just saying. So here we are, holy ones. This is about discernment. Do you align with? Are you like resonating with fear and putting down women? I could go on and show you all the Bible verses that talk about that. I can show you all the Bible verses about ripping open women and destroying the babies, killing babies in Egypt, killing babies in the different races that were annihilated. This Yahweh, Jehovah, Metatron, God, Father God, has no, it will kill anything. It doesn't matter. It kills donkeys, animals, babies, women, men, no problem. Do you align with that? That was my question. Do you align with that? Really? Some of my families do. Some of your family do. Billions of humans do, man. And this is while some of my brothers and sisters say we're all awakening. We're not all awakening. Look. There is some awakening happening. That's the phrase. It's some people. Some people will awaken. That's why they're going to the 5D timeline. Some people are reincarnating. Some people are going to inner earth. That's a good one, so. But some are going into the phantom timeline. I wonder why. They're worshiping phantom beings. They're feeding the phantom beings, making phantoms stronger, bigger. It's devouring. You hear Ashana in Kathara talk about the time matrix when it created the phantom matrix, that it is becoming bigger than the living matrix because they feed. These legions of beings are feeding and feeding and feeding. This is why there is a phantom earth. There's a phantom Tiamat. There's a phantom Nibiru. Some parts of these planets fall, but some don't. Some are expanding. Some of Earth does ascend, but not all of it. So those of you brothers and sisters who think we're all going to awaken, I don't agree with you, but I love you and we can still co-create together. Ascension always will be an individual process. You don't get some boost. You're not getting some special mojo from some other external source. It's not an external event. It's not some external visitation. It's not by some council of aliens. You still individually have all humans are on different levels of template development. And what people are saying is that, you all gonna ascend. It doesn't matter if you're here or here or here or here or here or killing and murdering So I don't agree with that narrative. Be very careful, be very mindful of that narrative. I would love it if all humans were ascending. They're not. We have hybrid humans. We have beings pretending to be humans. We have lots and lots and billions of distorted humans. And unless you saw in the world some unity happening, you don't. Man, do you guys actually, can you actually calculate that? Perceive that? Like you think there's billions of us? You think there's even hundreds of millions of us? Machiwa. So you guys, hopefully this sheds some light on Lucifer. And hopefully you'll think twice about feeding any of these narratives out there. And I encourage you guys to read these books. Start with the Voyagers 1. There's Voyagers 1 and Voyagers 2. And by the way, I've heard some homies say, Source is deciding that we're all coming back. You guys, that goes against free will. That goes against free will. God does not go against free will. God is not deciding, I'm breaking my own mechanics. Start with Voyagers. There's Voyagers 1, Voyagers 2, there's Angelic Realities, and then go right to Cathara. Learn Cathara, Kathara. Cathara Biospiritual Healing 1. There's a 2, a 3, and a part 4. Go into the it's called the Dance for Love. That sounds wonderful, right? Dance for Love workshop, the Dance for Joy, and the Dance for Life. And then after that, get into some of the into some of the sliders workshop, a few of them. Practice the ANRs, live and think through unity, and live and think through the Christ consciousness. Work on your chakras. Just keep on running frequency, and the teachings teach you how to do that. You will have no problems. Especially all of you who are indigos awakening back to all this information. You know this stuff. And you're seeing and experiencing these things. You confirm it. And when someone asks you, where's the proof? Homie, brother, sister, your proof is within your inner Christos. Check it out. Meditate. Learn how to do breath work. Work with plant medicine. Work with guardian techniques. Everyone's responsible for their own evolution. You're going to sit like some of these New Age chosen ones. I'm just waiting for the Galactic Council and the Galactic Fed, and they're not giving you your ascension process. You have to do it yourself. It's not easy, especially in a world full of distortion. It's not easy. So start now, my chihuahua. Let's make glasses. Yeah, baby. What's up? What's up? We can agree to disagree peacefully, lovingly. Am I still in that window? No. Okay. Georgina Hedinger. Wow, she sent 10 Christos Avatar TV gift memberships. Wow, you guys. So 10 of you who just got a membership for free, that's your sponsor right there. Thank you so much, Georgina, for supporting this work and for supporting other people's journey. They have a step in the door, right? So you guys, please use that. You have now access to my old diagram, not the new one I showed today, but an older one, but still it's helpful. You also have access to our chat server on Discord. And if you don't have that link, any of you guys who don't have the Discord link, write me and I'll provide one for you. So thank you for that, Georgina. Bless you, sister. We got down in it in the house. Keep it up, she says. Thank you so much for your support down in it. Bless you. We've seen you before. It's great to have you holding space with us. Star Child 369. Mahalo nu loa, brother. I love you all. Powerful Star Child 369 in the house. A lot of heavy hitters in here. Thank you for your support, Star Child. And we already said thank you to Giannis, right? Giannis, Star Sister. Mwah! She's blowing a kiss. Thank you, Giannis. So glad you're here with us in our community as well. You're one of the leaders hearing that call. Thank you for being here, sister, and your service to others. And Abby 88. Woohoo, Abby! Yes! Thank you so much, Abby. Bless you, sister, for supporting this work. Glad to have you here with us. She's been a member for over 6 months plus. So thank you for that. Much respect, Abby. And Nikki B. Welcome, Angel. Woohoo! You've already been a member. You got that 6-month star. Well, 3-month star, right? Oh, no, that's the 6-month star. The other one's the 3-month star. I'm just trying to figure out my own head. Thank you, Nikki B. Bless you, sister. Abby88. She's asking for a link. Oh, to the Discord. I don't know where you're asking me, sister, but my email's in the I'll just write it real quick. innerchristos at Gmail. I don't know where you contacted me because gmail.com. There's my public email, you guys. If you need to reach me, Abby, just mention that, hey, I'm a member. If you guys are a member, please tell me if it's on YouTube or Patreon. Otherwise, it takes me a long time to figure it out because YouTube's not very organized. If it's on Patreon, I can find you right away. YouTube is not organized. So I need to know, though, if it's on YouTube or Patreon when you guys write me for the Discord link. Yeah, you guys will need to email me for that link. Georgina as well. Okay, G-Light, no problem, sister. Just give us a link and we'll hook you up. You'll be in our chat, no problem. And whoever's sending those emojis, 100%, hearts and love and positive joy. Thank you, Holy One. Big hug, kiss, mwah. YouTube doesn't tell me anymore. I gotta find out why. It doesn't tell me. It's fine. I'm just happy. I'm so glad you guys are here with us. Let me see if there's any questions. Thank you, Indigo Wizard Vato Loco. What's up, homie? Yeah, Yamila. There you go. There's your links there, sister. Katara 1, Katara 2, and 3. You guys. Those are advanced stuff. So that will keep you busy, right? Lauren Wisdom, you said it, sister. We're a minority, but growing. Well said. Well said. Nikki B, you're so kind. Anuhazi, pure antenna mode. Receiving source flow, frequency, and transmitting. You guys, that's what we all have available to us. We're all capable of just flowing, man. Just owning it. Owning that Christos vibe, baby. What's up? We're meant to be beacons of that flow, right? We're meant to shine our Christic light, okay? And every opportunity we have to find, to be able to speak about these principles. You don't have to scare people and talk about aliens right away. You can introduce simple questions and comments, make them think. Our job isn't to change people's minds. We're meant to plant seeds and let them decide. Okay? We're not meant to force people's beliefs changes, you guys. That's a distorted concept. And we're meant to offer it as a choice, as a solution. Any chance we have to facilitate that, or even to facilitate healing advice or information, use that advantage. We were probably even meant to meet a certain person or people. Think about that. You have yourself and your mind, but you also have your higher self thoughts mixed with your own thoughts. It all sounds in your voice, but you're a multidimensional being. That literally means you have your 3D thoughts and you have your 5D thoughts. You have your 9D thoughts. You have your Christos avatar thoughts mixed in with your thoughts. Sometimes you have brilliant thoughts, yes? It's still you. You are a complex, multidimensional being. So that's you, that's you, that's you, this is you. And many of your other past selves are you. But you're a growing, living, like in the present moment, multidimensionally. Just like you are here on Earth, you're here and you're also right now, this moment in Lemuria. From this timeline, that's the past, but it's the present in the multidimensional and time matrix. Atlantis is happening now. Okay? Your archangel self is happening now. Your avatar self, your Rishi Brenua self is happening now. This is why I call you holy ones, because we are. Maybe we're not perfect down here. We're not, but we have some distortions, but we still are these perfect versions of ourselves too. And sometimes we have that clarity. We have that awareness. We have that connection. And I'm one of those fringe Christic teachers, because that's what some of my friend Christic people believe. I'm a fringe teacher telling you, hey, why not explore plant medicine like psilocybin? Because that will, the teachings work, that's the best option. But why not supplement that also sometimes with psilocybin? I'm not talking about this, I'm talking about psilocybin, baby. You drink that and powder it, grow it, powder it, drink it. You don't need to buy it. You don't need to go to some ayahuasca church, but you can. I don't think they don't have psilocybin churches, but you can create a nonprofit and create your own religion and do it legally. So I think it was Indigo Wizard that just actually sent me a video today about a Native American in front of Congress or the court system saying, give me back my right to practice my medicine and my heritage. She was a Native American woman. Beautiful video, by the way. Thanks, brother, for sharing that. See, other cultures are aware of the power of psilocybin. Okay? So I'm one of those fringe Christic teachers. They can demonize me if they want. They're not being very Christic, though, if they are. So I'm transparent about that. That other people don't agree, but I'm telling you, so you make your own choice. You guys, all the people that I've been with personally, and people who have shared their stories, it truly is a sacred plant, man. So I don't agree with everything about Ashiana. We know about the split. Some of the teachings are changed. I don't agree with that. And I can't have the right to disagree with that. And so you guys can agree. You guys can decide. But it will rock your world. I have these young, bless them, this young couple. They're like 21. Young couple. But they're freaking awakening indigos, practice awakening memories through psilocybin. And they act Christic. They think Christic. They speak Christic. They may not know all the teachings, but what I'm saying is people around the world can naturally gravitate towards unity and Christ consciousness. You know why? Because it's in your DNA. This is part of your antenna, your body, your template. It guides you a little bit until it gets distorted and convoluted. A part of it is trying to make you go the right direction. Part of you knows. Just like my neighbors, just like people around the world who don't know these teachings yet. Okay? You can naturally gravitate to it because it's inside you. You can naturally gravitate to the law of one and the innerchristos because it's part of your soul. It's part of your oversoul. It's part of your avatar and your rishi. Bless you, Holy One. And I even had someone, it was funny because, not funny, but someone said, I'm not holy. Yes, you are. You just have some distortion that you can heal. Thank you guys. My homies. Group hug. Come on. Group hug, you guys. Come on, let's do this. Group hug. It was cool because at the last drum circle, we all stood up and we all put our arms around each other and we all did or we did some cosmic, universal thing. And so that's what I feel with you guys. We're coming together and we're finding this truth, Christic truth. We make that, specific difference right there. Christic truth together, and we are going to make a difference. And like our sister said, we are growing. Okay? There's a part of Earth's population that is awakening to this type of spirituality. Some people demonize it, and they love their angry, cruel God. You can't do anything about that. You can't help force people. You know, I've heard other people say that. I wish I could take people out of that belief system. You're not meant to. It's an individual process. Just like for me, I know what it was like when I was not seeing through. Okay? I remember when I was blind. Where am I going? I can't see where I'm going. Oh, wow. Now I see. That's for my twin flame. Shaddai Ure Akuntan. Shaddai Ure Akuntan. Shaddai Ure Akuntan. I am Christar. I am Christar. I am Christar. Omeda Ipatuma. Omeda Ipatuma. Patuma Hedeta Hekuna. Omeda Ipatuma. Tretila Iderna. Tretila Iderna. Dharma Hekenta Hekuna. Omeda Ipatuma. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. Sing it with me, brothers and sisters. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. Aho, namaste, and so it is. Blessings to all of you. Machiwa. I love you guys unconditionally. Omni love, baby. What's up? I'll put that in chat before I sign off. Abby, I'm a stargazer, natural wanderer. I don't believe it's all negative. It's as far as astrology goes. It's cool, sister. I've heard Ashiana say that you can take Reiki and make it Kathara Reiki. So in that regards, Abby 88, you could take astrology and make it Kathara astrology, for example, Christic astrology. And that would mean creating your own deck and creating the own card, getting rid of the magician, for example. Make your own Christic symbols, your own unity symbols, your own Christ symbols, and then connect. But just realize it's still externalized. Just saying. But I understand your comment, Abby. Thank you, sister. Thank you, guys. Look out for Lucifer video Monday. It's a badass freaking video. It's my best work. And I'm going to point that video to tonight's video. So thank you, guys. Just so you know, chat takes 24 hours to go on the video, this video. So look for tomorrow if you want to watch the replay, and then you'll see the chat, but it won't be right away. It takes 24 hours to process. Good night, you guys. See you soon. See you on Tuesday. Woohoo! Yeah, baby. What's up? Christos gangsters. Machiwa.